When I'm out vlogging, I want something that is lightweight, gives you a wide field of view, and has amazing image quality. That's why I picked up the Zeiss Batis 18mm f2.8 lens. Let's go ahead and talk about the benefits of this lens while you're out vlogging. First things first, this lens is a basic lens design. It's got no bells, no whistles, no fancy buttons on it. It does have a focus ring. It also has this LCD screen on the front that lets you know how far you're focusing. It does have a 77mm filter thread on it. It does have some weather sealing on the back. And yes, this lens is an autofocus lens, as you can see here from the autofocus connections. But as you can see, this lens doesn't have anything fancy, no bells and whistles, nothing significant to write home about that is unbelievable or amazing. Now, while this lens has no bells and whistles on it, it does have one thing going for it. It is super lightweight. It's less than 12 ounces. It's 330 grams. So it's very lightweight. And as you can see, it's super compact. Now you pair this thing up with the Sony ZV-E1, which weighs in at 1.1 pounds or 483 grams. And that combo is going to weigh less than 2 pounds. It's going to weigh a little bit over 800 grams. And it's going to be super lightweight, super compact, super portable. I mean, that's almost APS-C level. Or maybe you're into the A7C Mark II. That thing is just slightly heavier than the ZV-E1. Or if you're like me and you have the A7S III, that thing weighs 1.5 pounds or 700 grams. Pair this up there and you're still under a kilogram. It's still a lightweight, super compact, super portable option for any videographer. And it's super wide. It's 18mm, so that means you're going to get a nice wide field of view. We're on the active stave of the A7S III, and you're going to add 1.1 times to this lens, which is still going to make it under 20mm. So you're still going to get a wider field of view than on the Sony 20mm, even with the stabilization turned on. Now, this lens has no lens stabilization, so you're going to be relying heavily on the IBIS that comes in the camera. So most of the time when I've been using this lens, I've been keeping on the active stave to get that extra stabilization. Now, because it's not a native Sony lens, the active stave does not work as good as a native Sony lens, but I think it's good enough for what you're looking to do. And if you're shooting somebody in front of you, then you're able to hold the camera a lot firmer than you are when you're out vlogging. Now, when you're out vlogging, I like to hold the lens in my hand and kind of hold the body of the camera right behind it. I can tell you, being less than a kilogram, this thing fits perfectly in your hand and it feels really nice when you're out there vlogging. Your arm doesn't get as tired, which is great. You do get exceptional image quality. Let's talk about image quality. So you are getting Zeiss image quality coming out of this lens, which means you're going to get great image quality. You're going to get great saturation, great contrast. I do find that the image looks nice. You get good subject separation, even though it's at an f2.8. Now, that's one of the things that the Zeiss lenses do, is they give you exceptional image quality at a very low weight. Compare this to the 85mm Zeiss lens and the image quality looks just as good, just as crisp. Now, I mentioned the wobbles. This lens is from 2016. It is definitely getting longer in the tooth. Cameras change all the time, but glass is forever. This lens, I would love to see a refresh on it. It doesn't seem like Zeiss is really making new lenses for the Sony system, which is kind of a shame because they've made some really good ones. Now, a Mark II of this lens, where maybe they could keep the weight about the same, but maybe go down to an f2 would be fantastic. I would love to see it, but I don't think Zeiss is making lenses for the Sony system anymore. It's an f2.8, so that doesn't mean that it's going to be exceptional in low light. If you have the Sony A7S III, FX3, or the ZV-E1, you're going to be okay because you can crank your ISO up to 12,800 and get a perfectly clean image. In fact, that's the ISO that I'm shooting at right now on my Sony A7S III. And as you can see, it's not a very noisy image. Having this lens shooting at that ISO, you're going to be okay. You're still going to need light, but you're going to be okay. Now, I've been using this lens for about 2 months, and I can tell you that I would highly recommend this lens. If you're looking for an ultra wide, lightweight prime lens, this is a great lens to get. I've been very happy, very satisfied with this lens. If you're liking this lens and you want to pick it up, or you want to just learn more about it, there is an affiliate link down in the top of the description. I really appreciate you being here. Thanks for joining me for another video. Great to see you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.